I'm Richard Redmond, host of The Play's the Thing. What do movies, plays, and novels all have in common? They all tell a story in one form or another. Storytelling, the original performing arts. Storytelling goes back to the dawn of man. On this program, Jonathan will be telling stories about the local Hudson Valley area. And the last one, Anthony's Nose. To quote from the book, The Mind of Mankind by Donald L. Hamilton. Human imagination, the source of mankind's tremendous power. And now, Jonathan Kruk.
Greetings, my friends. I'm Jonathan Kruk, ready to tell you a tale about how a notable landmark along the Hudson River got its name. And though there are many other versions of this story, this is the best one. See, long ago, on the day that Peter Stuyvesant arrived in the town of New Amsterdam, stomp, click, stomp, click, stomp, click. Well, folks were expecting some kind of a war hero. But what did they get? Some cantankerous old peg-leg. How is he going to rule over us, they cried. Well, he showed them right away. He cried out, "You call this a colony? Look, there's holes in the fort over there. The roads need to be paved. The rooftops need to be redone. They're all of dry grass. There's no schools or hospitals. Plus, this pile of brush and bramble here at the edge of town, why, this should be a wall. Dunder Blixum," he cursed. Well, folks scurried and hurried. What are we going to do? This fellow is irritable. He's like the Tsar of Muscovy. I say we take that peg leg of his and whack him right on his head. He's giving us too much work to do. Fix the fort, the rooftops, build a wall. We'll give him what he's going to get. Well, before we get to that, said cooler heads, why don't we get to... Now, back in the days of the Dutch, that didn't mean you had a cold or an itchy nose. It meant a barrel-chested fellow who was not known for being barrel-chested. He also was, boo-boo, the trumpeter for all the director generals. He'd have to blast his horn whenever the boss appeared. But again, this fellow, Anthony Corlier, was not known so much for his trumpet blasting. He was known, my friends, for his sizable schnozola, his big nose. He was told, "Please, Anthony, can you talk some sense into this Peter the Headstrong Stuyvesant, I'll see what I can do. I'll take him for a tour and show him there is good here in the New Netherlands. Come, Stuyvesant, join me." Well, stomp, click, the cantankerous director general boarded a sloop and they started off from Manhattan Island. Anthony began his tour. "Here's the wide, deep harbor of Manhattan, fine for shipping of all kind." I only see some Indians and warships." "Well, then look over to the west. What do you see there?" "What do I see?" says Stuyvesant. "You should ask, what's that smell? Better hold your nose." Well, Anthony held his big nose and said, "That stinking swamp over there to the west is New Jersey." But don't let the smells deceive you. There in the swamps are beaver and mink and muskrat. Why, those furs will fetch us many guilders. Dunder Blixum, insisted Stuyvesant. "The natives there, they're mad at us for starting a war with them. They won't give us one mouse fur. What else have you got?" Well, this is how it went, all the way up, well, about a third of the way, I should say, up the river. Stuyvesant hollered Dunder Blixum at everything Anthony pointed to. Finally, Anthony was at his wit end. And there he saw, swimming in the water, a fish said to be by the native folk to be poison to all who are not native. A sturgeon, a great dinosaurish thing swimming along. Anthony still says, "I wish I were you, sturgeon fish. For even if I was poison, at least I could swim away from that poisonous, cantankerous Peter the Headstrong Stuyvesant." Now, don't you know, the imps of the Highlands were listening. Shh! They send down a beam of light. It strikes Anthony right on the schnozola, and that nose, acting like a magnifying glass, sent the beam of light hissing hot into the Hudson. But oh, hold on to your socks, my friends, it gets better. The fish was knocked by that intensified beam of light, and out of the water it went, all the waggle. But it gets better than that. Ka-thud! It landed on the deck of that sloop ship, cooked to perfection. Well, Anthony was dumbfounded. Stuyvesant was stupefied. Anthony had enough wit about him to say, "Go ahead, eat the fish." Well, while Stuyvesant ate, no doubt all in the New Netherlands hoped and prayed he'd fall down peg leg up and be dead as a Dutch doornail. But instead there was a kind of crackling sound. And Stuyvesant proclaimed, "This fish, Anthony, it's delish. Why, you've pointed out to me there is good in this colony, the fish. Anthony, Anthony!" Huh? Well, Anthony discovered the fish wasn't poison. That was just a trick played upon the Dutch by the native folk. Well, Anthony ate some of the fish, they broke out the beer, and had a party on the deck of that sloop. And then Stuyvesant proclaimed something again. "Anthony, you've pointed out to me there is good in this colony. I'm going to honor you. Henceforth and hitherto, we're going to call, that mountain over there, Corlier's. No, we're going to call it Anthony's Nose." And the name has been with us ever since. Next time you're wending your way up the Bear Mountain Parkway there along Route 9D, before you cross over the Bear Mountain Bridge, remember this tale of how Anthony Corlier, by his big nose, fried a sturgeon fish and stopped Peter Stuyvesant from cursing Dundar Blixum, these lands which now we all love. And I've loved having a chance to tell you this tale, Anthony's Nose. Thank you very much for listening.